Media Groups Coupon Part 2. Alright, so now that we have all this information pasted in for each of the restaurants, in this case we're only using 3 restaurants, we can now begin to merge this data with the template. Now I've already opened up Word. I have my template open. This is the actual template. We're going to merge the data and print it to a PDF. When we print the PDF, we'll save it. So at this point, we go up to Mail Merge. Go to Start Mail Merge, Step by Step Mail Wizard. Now we need to select the data. Now it's important to go ahead and close your data list. Make sure you know where it is when you navigate to it, so you know how to navigate to it. Let's go ahead and close it. I'm going to save it. Now notice that I also saved the template under a name that I would recognize, so I didn't overwrite the template. I close it so that our Word document can now access it. Take your next step. And we need to go ahead, let's go back, let's find the source. It automatically defaults to My Data Sources. I have this file, this Excel file, in a different location. Let's drill down to it, and while I drill down to it, I'm going to go ahead and pause. Here I've located my file. I'm going to go ahead and select it. Hit open. Now it's necessary for me to pick the proper sheet within the XLS file, restaurant number 1, and it's a good idea to remember to sort of know what number 1 is. Open. Alright, let's continue. Now I've selected the data sheet within the file. I'm going to go ahead and preview. Notice it's Fern Creek location, so I'm going to remember that it's Fern Creek. Hit next, and at this point I need to print. I'm going to print all records to a PDF, so this will create a page for every single record. Okay. I'm going to select my PDF printer. If I don't use PDF, then I need to use Word, and I'll want to make sure that I save that file under a different name other than this template. Hit OK. It's asking me for a name. This is going to be Mail Merge, and the location was Fern Creek. This was the new account. Campaign. Save. While it's printing, I'm going to go ahead and pause. And at this point, you'll see that we have 25 pages. So there was 25 records. Fern Creek location. The associate number is at the top with that corresponds to the associate. And if you scroll down, you see that this changes. Associate ID and the coupon codes change for each one. So we're set. We've already saved this file when we actually printed it out. We're ready to go now, and we need to do this for the rest of the documents, for the rest of the restaurants. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And once this is closed, rather than actually alter our template, we're just going to go back. Previous, we're going to work our way back to where we select the data source. Step number 3. Select a different source. And you got to drill back down through again. It goes back to my data source. I'm sure there's a way to default it to a different directory, but for now, I'm going to pause this. Even though I'm drilling down to the same file, it seems like I have to go through this again, select the exact same file, but I now need to pick a different sheet. It's going to be R2 in the same file. Pops back up. They call it select table. Actually, it's a sheet tab within the file itself. So I'm going to select R2. And oh yeah, our file contain first row contains headers. I believe it does. If it doesn't, we'll need to go back and change that. Hit OK. And now we go back through. Preview. There it is, and we've changed to Okolona. Remember that. Continue. Now we're going to print. Repeat the same process. We're going to do all records. We're going to go. We're already still. It did remember that we're in PDF. We'll go do this again. I'm going to do this for the third restaurant. And we have one more thing to talk about after that. Okay, so now I've actually merged the third and final restaurant that we plan on doing for this campaign. So we need to actually close this template down before we can actually have access to the Excel sheet that we had created earlier. If you try to open up the Excel sheet, you're going to get an error. So this is very frustrating, very important. Remember to close the spreadsheet. I'll demonstrate here. This took me about an hour to figure out the first time it happened, so I'll demonstrate so you know what to look for when you've made a mistake. So normally you come up here and you say, yeah, I want to open up this, and then it tells you, wait a minute, maybe the file is actually corrupt. Alright, that's your clue to say, okay, let's go. I must have my template open, and now I'm going to actually close it. Now, this is the actual template. We're going to close it without actually saving it. And now you'll find that when we go back to Excel, we can open up the spreadsheet that had our data, and here it is. So the one more thing that we need to do is actually print out the distribution sheets, the DSR1 through 3, and we'll go over this in the next video.